Namaste and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I am Anand Narsimhan. Ladies and gentlemen, ever since the Prime Minister has called out this Revdi Bantu politics, that is freebie politics, and he's called out this act of selfishness, there has been a bit of an argy-bargy going on between the BJP and the opposition led by the Aam Aadmi Party. Now, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has waded into this very clearly, and she has come out and lashed out at Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal post his press conference for calling health and education as freebies. She has actually walked around and she has said that Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has given a very, very perverse twist to this entire debate on what is freebies and what is welfare, and that Arvind Kejriwal is trying to bring in a sense of worry and fear in the minds of the poor. She has called for genuine debate on this matter. That's what the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said, that unnecessarily stoking fear and worry and bringing in health and education into this entire freebies debate, acts which are social welfare and not trying to draw the line between welfare and free is indeed unfortunate, and this is unnecessarily trying to create or stoke fear among the poor, saying there should be a genuine debate on this matter. Pallavi Ghosh joins us with more on this. Yes, Pallavi.
That's right. So this is a statement which has been issued by the Finance Minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, and it's a very, very strong statement. Essentially, what she has also said is that if you look at the narrative which is being pushed by the Delhi Chief Minister and the Aam Aadmi Party, it's a negative narrative. First of all, there's been no cutting as far as the Manrega scheme is concerned. There's a difference between freebie and a social welfare scheme, because, he seemed to be making a caustic comment about the fact that why is it that the BJP is not looking at itself when it makes those announcements of many farm loan waivers or tax exemptions. There she's tried to make a difference between the two of them, that these state governments, some of them, where she spoke specifically about Punjab, instead of looking at some long-term incentives to improve the economy and social welfare, actually come out with these kind of schemes which are called freebies because they don't have that money. And then they come up to the center and appeal for extra funds. And this is what exactly a freebie is all about.
Well, so clearly the freebie debate rages on. We've debated this here on the Right Stand. Can there be a difference between freebies? Are we a freeloading nation? Are our votes for sale, that somebody gives us something for free and will we give our votes to them? That's the other way of looking at it. We'll continue to keep tabs on that. But right now we're building up to this face-off between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress, even as another tall or senior Trinamool Congress leader was arrested, and this time by the CBI, and that is Anubrata Mondal.
অনুব্রত মণ্ডল যে একজন মাফিয়া এবং মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়ের প্রশ্রয়ে আশ্রয়ে
মুর্শিদাবাদে কারা কারা মদত করেছিল, মুর্শিদাবাদের কোন কোন পুলিশ অফিসার মদত করেছিল, কোন কোন থানার ওসিরা মদত করেছিল।
And even as we speak, and we are waiting for Bharti Ghosh and Saket Gokhale to join us, Bharti Ghosh of the BJP and Saket Gokhale of the Trinamool. There is a Trinamool Congress press release after their press conference this evening at 5:30 p.m. The Trinamool Congress has also released a press statement. And in the statement, they have very clearly come out and said that they will not back anybody who's corrupt. Again, with what happened with Partha Charity, it's a similar play where the party is saying the actions of one person does not link directly to the party. We want a thorough, unbiased probe. They're distancing themselves from Anubrata Mondal. They are coming out and saying that zero tolerance for corruption. If somebody is found guilty of corruption in an act of corruption, take action. They say, but this is important. The probe has to be speedy and unbiased. That's what the Trinamool Congress is saying. Trinamool Congress has underlined that we do not back corruption. If somebody is found being corrupt, then go ahead and crack down on that person. but more importantly, it should be unbiased. Shogotono joins us. Shogoto, so the press release coming in, and is there an effort, as the news tightens around Anubrata Mondal, saying this is just the tip of some of his wrongdoings? Is the Trinamool trying to say the party is not the same as Anubrata Mondal?
Well, that's definitely it. But, I have this hunch, Anand, that the strong stand that the party had taken in the instance of Partho Chatterjee, it seems that the stand of the party is a tad bit different as far as Anubrata Mondal is concerned. Although both these leaders have been, allegedly involved in corruption, and while the party has, already removed Partho Chatterjee from his positions in both the government as well as in the party, even before the case has gone to trial, we haven't seen any kind of similar steps being taken by the party for Anubrata Mondal so far. Instead, while the Trinamool Congress in its press conference and now formalized in the form of a formal press statement have said that the party has zero tolerance for corruption, it has in the same breath added that the party demands an unbiased investigation into issues of corruption as far as the central agencies are concerned, and alleges that the leaders of the BJP who are similarly accused of such corruption cases, the agencies are not proactive about
while
any
asking
of them.
for parity and saying it should be unbiased, the counter question that has emerged is the Trinamool Congress saying yes, these people are guilty? Is the Trinamool Congress accepting that those who are under the scanner, who are behind bars or who've been pulled up by the central agencies are all guilty? If that is the case, then is the entire charge of cut money being rampant and this entire cut money culture being rampant? When I say cut money, this is corruption. So everybody gets a cut, everybody indulges in an act of corruption. Is this rampant within the Trinamool? That's the question that's being asked. Now, but these are the various cases when Trinamool Congress netas have faced this entire corruption heat. Anubrata Mondal is the latest. He's been arrested by the CBI. This is in the cattle smuggling scam where the CBI says they have evidence that his hands were in the till. The other person behind bars is Partho Chatterjee, Industry and Commerce Minister, who's been arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. This is in the SSC scam. The Manik Bhattacharya, another MLA who's been questioned by the ED, is under the radar for his involvement in the SSC scam. Paresh Adhikari, he's also been sidelined. The MOS education, he's also been booked by the CBI in the same SSC scam. Abhishek Banerjee and his wife, the Enforcement Directorate investigating the role. Allegations have been made that money has been carted out. That is in the coal smuggling scam. Again, Molloy Ghatak, Labour Minister in the coal smuggling scam 2021. There are serious charges, the ED investigating the role. Also under the scanner with the ED investigating role is Sushanto Mahato, who is in the coal smuggling scam. In the Narada case, it is Trinamool Congress leaders accused of accepting cash from fictitious company. Many leaders who are part of this CBI probe has been on since 2017. Rose Valley scam 2013, 2 Trinamool Congress MPs have been arrested by the CBI in 2017. Over a dozen Trinamool Congress MPs and MLAs have been questioned by the CBI in the Sarada scam of 2013. For nearly a decade of the reign of the Trinamool Congress, some of these scams have been going on. There are many who have now moved out of the Trinamool Congress, and the Trinamool Congress has come out and said, what about them? Why aren't you investigating them? That's the question. We'll get that answer in the debate from the BJP, but the larger question is this cut money culture rampant in Bengal? Bharti Ghosh, BJP national spokesperson, and Saket Gokhale of the Trinamool Congress with us this evening. It's a straight face-off between the two parties. So the floor is yours. And my only request, allow each other to speak and then you can counter. Bharti Ghosh, is everybody in the Trinamool Congress guilty of corruption? Or is the Enforcement Directorate looking at only at Trinamool Congress leaders, and those who have left Trinamool, joined the BJP, are all now holier than thou?
You see, if we take Bengal's history to the late 18th century, between the late 18th century and the early 20th century, there was this Bengal Renaissance. And you know that Ram Mohan Rai, Raja Ram Mohan Rai, this Renaissance father, and Kavi Guru Rabindranath Thakur and other people, they actually headed this movement of Bengal Renaissance. So this is Sonar Bangla. In 2011, when Mamata Banerjee talked of Parivartan, and we had already suffered 34 years of misrule by the left, people were expecting Parivartan and people were expecting that Bengal Renaissance period to come back, where art, literature, culture would flourish. What we have seen total criminalization of politics. And here we have today Anubrata Mondal, who will go down in history as the greatest political mafia that West Bengal has ever produced, and whose contribution to politics is total mafiaism, total criminalization of Birbhum politics, and being the fundraiser and close aide of the chief minister and the strongman of the political party in Birbhum, henchman, fundraiser. So this man goes to jail after avoiding 10 notice of CBI, and the opposition cries foul. Why are you crying foul? Why are you crying foul? Are you saying that there is no tolerance in your cabinet? If there is no tolerance, what about Saigal Hussain? Saigal Hussain's 150 crore property was found. Did you dismiss him? Why you did not dismiss him? He is a main constable, 20,000 rupees salary. So this is Trinamool Congress. One has to understand that they have corrupted the whole system, and they have actually employed top police officers in the fund route, the route in which the funds came from Birbhum to Kolkata.
But if it is so black and white, if it is so black and white, then no agency no central agency, irrespective of which government, should take 11 years to try and even prove some of the charges. That's one aspect. The other thing is that those who have now been co-opted into another political party, they should also not be absolved if their names are there. So that's another question. But let Saket Gokhale respond. Let Saket Gokhale respond.
Let me speak on this.
We'll come back to you because I'll allow you your counter. Let Saket Gokhale respond. The point is, it's a slew. When the Trinamool Congress, when the Trinamool Congress releases the press note, the latest one that's just come, does it say that Anubrata Mondal is guilty? Is the party saying he is separate, we are separate? And when you say keep it unbiased, are you saying they are guilty?
Not at all. I mean, I would like to go in sequence first. In response to what the BJP spokesperson said, it's quite ironic that this individual herself was a part of the Trinamool Congress for the longest period of time. And then suddenly during the elections, the washing machine called and whatever might be the reason. But it's funny how there's suddenly a newfound voice, where apparently if such things were going on since 2011, this person did not have a voice to speak up about it. Second thing, the BJP spokesperson talks about the government apparently co-opting police officers. I think as a former IPS officer who entered politics, it's better you don't comment on things like these. Number three, it is very clear, we are not a court of law to decide who is guilty and who is not. The fact is, what we have said is any kind of corruption will not be tolerated, and all we have said constantly, even in the case of Partho Chatterjee, even now in the case of Mr. Mondal, is that there should be a time-bound probe, because often we've seen that agencies send summonses, they conduct investigations, charge sheets are never filed. We can look at the dismal conviction rate of the ED, which is less than 0.6%. The other thing I would like to add is, in the beginning, you very nicely showed a graphic talking about the different alleged scams. There was a Sarda scam, there was a Rose Valley scam, I saw the names there. Himanta Biswa Sharma, Suvendu Adhikari, who suddenly has a very loud voice today, who is an accused in this scam, who's been caught on camera in the Sarda scam accepting money. It's funny that these agencies don't see that. Again, if you look at the way the agencies function in India, the West Bengal police right now is conducting an investigation into MLAs who have been caught with cash. One of them has filed an FIR saying Himanta Biswa Sharma had called them to Guwahati to give them money to topple the Jharkhand government. I do not understand why toppling of an elected state government is a matter which the agencies do not think is important for them to take up for investigation.
Bharti Ghosh, respond.
You see, my respected friends, first of all, when you attack a person, you should know the background. It is me as SP who threw Vinay Mishra out of the district when he came to collect money. which is me who resigned with my head high. And the Supreme Court has heard 7 times this case. Matter is sub judice. I'm under total protection, and everybody knows the truth. So you should also make some research on the background. Now, coming to the present context of Anubrata Mondal, you did not say a single word about Anubrata. You took us to Hemanta Biswa Sharma. You took us to Shubhendu Adhikari. Are you aware that the Honorable High Court just dismissed a petition by a person, a public interest litigation, asking for Shubhendu Adhikari or making a prayer for Shubhendu Adhikari to be investigated and to be interrogated by CID, state CID? The entire petition has been dismissed by the High Court. Are you saying that the Honorable High Court is not aware of the fact and has taken a wrong decision?
Officer, you should get your facts right, police officer. The PIL asked for a CID probe. It was dismissed because there is an ongoing CBI probe, but the CBI is not investigating him.
Yes, I'm saying that. There is an ongoing
so get
CBI
your facts
probe.
right.
Now, if you want the CBI to do more, like many people have gone to the Calcutta High Court asking for ED attachment into the property assessment of 19 more TMC leaders, and that has been done. Why don't you do it? Why don't you file a petition? Why do you have to cry always on Shubhendu Adhikari when
So you're saying that when it is an opposition person,
when Pita Mukherjee gets caught,
what
when
you're saying, madam, what you're saying very clearly here is that when it is an opposition person,
is TMC going for no tolerance? Then why is
Sorry,
Mr.
let me answer
Gyanendra
this.
Singh as ADG Law and Order and ADG CID? Are you not aware of the High Court judgment that he is directly implicated in the Rizanur case? Why is a tainted officer put over there? Why are many tainted officers who are involved in this cattle smuggling, who are involved in this koila smuggling? Why are they in the different powerful positions of the state? Why is the Chief Minister saying that
or is it only a one-person traffic?
Strong organizer. Why is Anubrata Mondal being in the same car with the Chief Minister?
Okay. Now, Bharti Ghosh, you have to yield for him to respond. Otherwise, he will keep speaking over you. You will keep speaking over him. Nobody will hear. It's just the two of you in the debate.
Job not to moderate, right?
It's just the two of you to debate. So I am leaving the floor open for you to moderate. That's how I started. I said one should yield, the other should be allowed to speak. That's what I said.
I will. Moderator for a reason, right?
I will. Like I said, I am stepping in and when both of you start speaking over each other or one refuses to yield to the other. So I'm stepping in. So one minute. Now Saket Gokhale, respond.
Yeah, so first of all, clear response. It's very funny. This is the same argument the BJP uses every time, saying if you want a BJP leader to be investigated, go to court. So the takeaway from this is that when it comes to the opposition, the ED and the CBI will be proactive. But when it is a tainted BJP leader, you have to go to court and file a PIL. They will not take cognizance. Agencies do not need directions from the court. This is an IPS officer. I'm very shocked to see that this is an IPS officer sitting on the other side who is pretending that agencies need directions from court to investigate.
What the IPS officer, what the ex-IPS officer now... what the ex-IPS officer said is that if you feel that the agency is not doing its job properly, you can go and seek directions from the court instructing the agency to do its job properly. That's what she said, and I heard that. Now please complete.
Yeah. Is the agency very clearly acting against individual? For example, now if you look at Hemanta Biswa Sharma, on what grounds, on what locus standi am I going to the court and filing a petition? Am I going to file it under Article 32? So it's very easy to, if you think an agency is not doing its job. So by that logic, if you think the government's not doing its job, go to court. File a PIL against the government. I mean, this kind of ridiculous. This is basics of law, boss. If there is an agency that's not doing its job, if there is an agency, how many times has Shubhendu Adhikari been investigated ever since he joined the BJP? How many times has he been called in for questioning? Number one. How many times the BJP leaders in other states? I mean, just compare the number of opposition leaders who have received summonses of being investigated. Vyapam, hundreds of people died. What happened to Shivraj Singh Chauhan? Look at Raman Singh. What happened to him in Chhattisgarh? Nothing. Narayan Rane in Maharashtra? Absolutely nothing. MLAs of the Shiv Sena from the Shinde camp who had ED cases against them, The moment they join, some of them have been sworn in as ministers now. All cases against them go into the cold storage. I mean, does it really need rocket science to see that there is only one side which is protected?
No.
The point is that if you join the BJP, you're safe, and this is the gun that is being put to people's
So
heads.
in your state right now, when I say let's talk about Bengal, the decision, the question about the debate today is not about what about him, what about him, what about him.
No, it's not
The debate right now. So you made a point. So now let me ask a question straightforward. I am asking you, in Bengal, it is the Trinamool Congress which has an overwhelming mandate. In Bengal, it is the Trinamool Congress's government. In Bengal, it is Mamata Banerjee is the chief minister. She is also the party president. In Bengal, it's a litany of members, and that's the question that the BJP also just now asked, including Anubrata Mondal, who have been given powerful positions and who have been given patronage for nearly a decade. And today, the Trinamool Congress has released a press release saying that if he is guilty, please do a speedy and unbiased investigation. My question is once again.
Look, Anand, if this is an agenda-setting
My
debate,
question is, what is happening in your own state? If they are corrupt, who should crack down on them?
You don't interrupt the BJP spokesperson. I think there is one.
Answer the question. The question is around Anubrata Mondal. The question is around Partha Chatterjee.
Give time to talk. If you want to listen to the answer, you might have to be silent for a second to listen to an answer. You're claiming this is about Bengal. Our ED and CBI Bengal state agencies, no, they're central agencies. So no, we will talk about everything in the country.
No. So Anubrata Mondal are the minister in the Bengal government. Partha Chatterjee, minister in the Bengal government. We are talking about Anubrata Mondal, Partha Chatterjee, Paresh Adhikari. We are talking about SSC scam, cattle smuggling scam.
You will not let me answer the question. Mr. Anand BJP Narasimhan, let me answer the question. Okay? Please tell me how many convictions since the ED and
My
CBI
right to ask a question
it.
does not give you any right to try and make insinuations against me, Mr. Saket Gokhale. You are coming here as a Trinamool Congress spokesperson. The question is about the leaders of the Trinamool Congress. If you can answer the question, don't try and get personal with me, sir. Please.
If you're behaving like a BJP
No,
spokesperson,
that is not your purview to answer. Your purview is, as a spokesperson of a political party, it's your responsibility to answer and answer. What does your press release mean? What does your press release mean when you say make it unbiased? Are you holding your leaders guilty? If that's the case, how is it that they've been given such positions in your government? Even after Saigal Hussain? That's the question. So can you answer the question? Then I can turn around and ask my question of the BJP spokesperson. Will you answer the question, Mr. Saket Gokhale, and fulfill your responsibility as a spokesperson of a political party?
Again, I am a spokesperson. At least I admit I'm a spokesperson.
If you are a spokesperson, then answer the question.
Like one.
Oh, no. Are you doing your responsibility as a spokesperson, or are you here to try and play the role of a troll? So I'm asking you. Answer the question on Anubrata Mondal.
How dare you call someone?
So how dare you affix names against me? How dare you affix names in between my name? My name is Anand Narasimhan, and who gives you a right to affix any name in between that? So, sir, the door swings both ways. So let's get back to the debate. If you want to get back to the debate, answer the question on Anubrata Mondal and Partha Chatterjee, the response of the party.
You behave like a moderator.
So I'm asking you a question. You behave like a spokesperson, please.
If you keep interrupting, I'm not going to answer your question. Because, like I said, there should not be two BJP spokespersons on one show. Okay, clear? Now let me speak. Very clearly, being investigated versus being convicted are two completely different things. We have seen agencies filing different probes, initiating different probes. I will give you an example. Post-poll violence probe that the CBI started. It's been over a year and a half. What has been the progress? Nothing. What has been the progress report submitted to the High Court in any of the ongoing cases? Nothing. In our press release, we clearly said today, if somebody is guilty, we are not the court of law to decide. At the end of the day, if somebody is guilty, let them be punished by a court of law. What we demand is a time-bound probe. But here's the thing. Allegations tomorrow, if the West Bengal police were to get up and start arresting people of the BJP every day, are you then going to say BJP is a tainted party? Because we can very well do that. We choose not to do that because that's the difference between the BJP and us. If we decide to go after the BJP in the state of West Bengal, will you then tomorrow host a show and say, oh my God, look at this, 30 cases against 30 BJP leaders. That means BJP is a completely corrupt party. Is that the question you're going to ask? Does being charged Forget charge. There's not even a charge sheet filed.
Answer the questions on Anubrata Mondal. 14 summons given by the CBI, only one answered. Every by grounds of medical grounds given, and the doctor alleges that it was under threatened, that he was asked to sign on a blank paper to give a medical prescription, and that medical report given was false. So these are the allegations against Anubrata Mondal. The CBI has arrested because he ignored 14 summons that were sent to him. The third part, that they believe they have proof that he has hand in the till. The press conference and the statement of the Trinamool Congress says if he is guilty, we clearly the party is distancing itself, saying his actions do not mirror the actions of Trinamool Congress, but they've said make it unbiased. So I am asking you, are you saying that he is guilty, or are you distancing yourself, saying that it's got nothing to do with the party? That was the question. Now the allegation that you have made right now is that the BJP is using central agencies against the Trinamool Congress. The Trinamool today can use the state law and order and the police to go after the BJP. That's what you're saying, but we are choosing not to do that. Bharti Ghosh, please respond.
You see, every morning they are producing a political mafia, a fundraiser. A regional party having national aspirations wants to make investment in Goa, wants to make investment in Tripura. Who is going to give the funds? People like Anubrata Mondal, people like Partha Chatterjee. For 500 days, over 500 days, students have been sitting on the roads, getting beaten by the police and saying that we want inquiry because there is a ghotala. No, and this party, who is now saying zero tolerance, no inquiry into that ghotala. Ultimately, the High Court came up with CBI investigation, ED investigation.
But the allegation, Bharti Ghosh, is that the CBI has not done anything on the post-poll violence. The allegation is after the matter was handed over to the CBI, the CBI has not cracked down on the post-poll violence, while it was alleged that it was the Trinamool Congress cadre that perpetrated the violence there.
Let me tell you, there are over 70 cases of post-poll violence being investigated by the CBI. The CBI has arrested, made significant arrests in some, has given charge sheet in most of the cases, and the CBI will take the cases to trial in the normal course of action. Law must take its own course.
Yeah, but law cannot take the allegation. Bharti Ghosh, is that the law is not taking an unbiased, unequivocal course. The law, what it's doing is being selective, because those who are named in the Narda and the Sarda scam those who have decamped are not being purchased. Those who are part of the Trinamool Congress only are being chased, even in the same scam. That is the allegation that Trinamool has repeatedly made, irrespective of which scam it is.
Yes, I know. One petition has been filed in 2017 in the Honorable High Court, naming some BJP and left leaders to come within the fourfold of ED, and the High Court has accepted it. Another petition was made in High Court asking for investigation against Shubhendu Adhikari. The High Court has dismissed it. So it is not that
the High Court has dismissed it. You also know the grounds the High Court has dismissed it, because the CBI has to investigate. If the CBI can crack down on Anubrata Mondal, the Trinamool Congress's position is, why is it not cracking down on other leaders? And if they are...
I am waiting. Actually, I am waiting for the day when the law and order of India and the law and order of the state will go by the dictates of the Trinamool Congress. Law has its own course. If the CBI found somebody guilty, definitely the CBI will investigate.
Well,
if the CBI is not doing its job properly, the opposition has do the High Court and the Supreme Court.
Now, we'd see. The fact of the matter is, it's a litany of Trinamool Congress leaders who are now being alleged and who are caught under the web of corruption. They have all been arrested by different departments and central agencies in different scams, with a lot of them saying that we have enough proof to show that they had their hand on the till. The charge is that there are others also who have their hand on the till who have not yet been arrested. I've lost Saket Gokhale right now, so we will try and wind up the debate right now. Bharti Ghosh, thank you very much. Saket Gokhale, thank you very much. We're going to take a move on here on the right stand to the next debate, ladies and gentlemen. 3 arrests have been made in the case of the murder that only shows a trail of hate. Is it time for a comprehensive crackdown on the PFI? There is a reason we ask this question.
that there is suspected link of these persons with PFI and SDPI. We have got certain materials. We have got that one, they belong to some group, but all these details cannot be revealed in the public domain.
Well, these are the details, ladies and gentlemen. In the murder of Praveen Nittaru, there have been arrests that have been made. The case for a mega crackdown is made because this person, Praveen Nittaru, was murdered in August 2022 in Dakshina Kannada. Now, he was named as the PFI and the SDPI cadre have been named as suspects in the murder of the BYJM worker Praveen Nittaru. The NIA decided that they will and accepted they will probe this matter when the state government said we hand over the probe to the NIA because this was an interstate issue. The murderers, after committing the act, fled to neighboring Kerala. The alleged plot to assassinate the Prime Minister during Patna visit, again the involvement of the SDPI. July 2022, Mission 2047 plan was unearthed. This was a module of the SDPI, PFI and erstwhile members, old members of SIMI, former members of SIMI, who are part of this entire plan. May 2022, hate slogans at a PFI rally in Alapura in Kerala, and children were made to chant and lead those hate chants. Storm over a child's provocative slogans, and the child was coached by members of the PFI. There were arrests made. 24 people were arrested at that point in time. December 2021, an RSS worker was murdered in Kerala. PFI office bearer was arrested. December 2021, Kerala BJP sought an NIA probe into this entire matter. Multiple issues, ladies and gentlemen, a series of PFI involvements, money trail leading to them, even in issues and matters of social unrest. Is there a case for a comprehensive crackdown on the PFI and its affiliates? That's the question that we ask. Let's dive into the debate straight up. Charu Pragya, BJP national spokesperson, Khalikur Rahman, political analyst, and Gopal B. Hosur, former IGP, Karnataka Police, with us. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. First up, Gopal B. Hosurji. When I say a comprehensive crackdown is beyond a ban, because these people seem to be involved everywhere. How is it that an organization which is an offshoot of a banned organization has been allowed to spread to more than 23 states in the country?
I should say that you have raised a very pertinent question today. Before I delve on that, let me compliment the Karnataka police, who in 14 days have been able to arrest at least 10 people connected with the murder of Praveen Nittaru. I have worked as an IGP of that range for more than 1.5 years when it was most disturbed. I went there to set right the things. I know for sure that it is a highly disturbed area. And right from the time that the murder took place, a lot of efforts have been put in by the police to apprehend the culprits. Now, these culprits, who are these? These are the people as they are offshoots of the SIMI. They founded an organization in 1994 in Kerala. Then it spread to Karnataka because our borders are close. Then we had the KFD, Karnataka Forum for Dignity. And then the Tamil Nadu organization, Karnataka and Kerala organizations merged together and formed the PFI way back in 2006. Thereafter, if at all they were professing giving justice to people, the weaker sections, the minorities, it was very good. But the moment they began to indulge in acts of violence and having links with inimical states across the border, their links to the LET, their links to the ISI, their links with many other organizations who are out to destabilize this country. And these murders are only symptoms of that malice. Unless the government comes very squarely on the PFI and on the SDPI, which is the political front of the PFI, I don't think so we are going to be in peace. And all the more reason, now that the investigating agency has not revealed their PFI links, I'm sure they're keeping it wrapped for the time being so that they get incontrovertible evidence. Because ultimately, if you need to ban an organization, you need to go through a process under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, for which you need a huge amount of evidence, because it has to stand the scrutiny of the judicial process. And I'm sure our investigating agencies, which was a small...
But here is the thing, Gopal Hosurji, it has to be something beyond just banning an organization. You have to weed them out and uproot them in such a way that they cannot root themselves again. Otherwise, it's like floating pollen or weeds. You weed them from one place, they'll grow in another form, and then they will take shoot somewhere else, and then again start corrupting the entire garden.
Yeah, I agree, Anand. This has got to be a national effort. It does not matter which political party is in power in which state. We need to grow beyond our political dispensations. This is a national threat. It is a threat to the nation. And the sovereignty and integrity of the nation are involved in this, because these people are taking the support from outside elements. The money flow, the trail the ED has discovered or found out during their investigation, this needs to be taken to logical end. So it has to be a comprehensive, serious effort to suppress this malice immediately. There is no time left for it.
No, but here is the thing. You have allowed an organization to have multiple affiliates, Charu Pragya. An organization which is also, as a front, is a social organization. An organization which is a recognized political party, whose affiliate is a recognized political party, whose members may have been involved. But how are you going to blame it on an organization entirely? Because this organization is today pan-India. Everywhere they are around, they are aware.
Yeah. Good evening, Anand. And yes, I agree with you. And I need to remind you and the viewers that there is a situation sometimes in our country where opposition political parties allow dangerous, radicalized, weaponized organizations to grow right under their noses because it suits their political motives. But I will come to that later. I just want to add a word and agree with Gopalji here and say that our government is immediately not rushing to ban PFI like it was done in Jharkhand. So I want to take the example of Jharkhand and say that Jharkhand banned PFI in the state, and when it was taken up in the court of law, the ban could not stand because there was not enough evidence. And we have seen that just banning an organization is not a permanent solution of security for our country, because you ban a SIMI, they reban themselves and they call themselves PFI. Today you will ban a PFI, they will again reban themselves and call themselves something else. So the solution is to stop the process of radicalization. The solution is to identify people who are in the process of radicalizing the youth of our country. And there is a process to this. For a very long time we have seen, whether it is the CA protests, the triple talaq protests that happened, the way Delhi was set to fire during the Delhi riots, what happened recently in the state of Rajasthan, PFI was allowed to take out a public march, a celebration with the allowance and the
you are
permission
saying
of the
it is
Congress
political
government.
patronage. You are very clearly saying that it is political patronage.
I am very clearly saying it is political patronage of certain opposition parties in this country, because of which PFI continues to grow and flourish, and the central government is going to ensure and put a stop to this. That is going to happen, but we have to do it in an organized way with sufficient evidence.
One second. Let Khaliqur Rahman respond. Khaliqur Rahman.
Yeah.
Opposition.
First of all,
yes.
Good evening to all the viewers and good evening to all my co-panelists here. I, in fact, agree with Mr. Gopal, the former IG of Karnataka, that there has to be a very comprehensive effort to ban this organization. But I want to ask my esteemed panelist of the BJP that BJP has come into power, into 2014. It's almost 8 years that the BJP is in power, and what the BJP is doing. And I think we have already collected so much of evidence against PFI, and which should be good enough for the MHA and the government to, come forward and ban this organization. Okay, Jharkhand is one example where it was banned, and later on it could not stand in the court of law. But now, after that, there has been continuous protest and the violence incidents wherein even when there was a crackdown by the ED, so many accounts were also confiscated. So which I think gives the enough arm and the evidence and the weapon in the hands of the government to ban this organization. So in some way or the other, what I feel, why BJP is, giving a long rope, that it might be benefiting BJP electorally somewhere or the other.
One minute. No. Anand, can I please very quickly respond to that? So first of all, let me tell you, the target is not something which is called PFI. The target is the people behind PFI. Yeah. You have to remember that they are the target. It does not matter whether they call themselves SIMI or PFI or XYZ tomorrow. Yeah. It is the people who are being targeted. It is the people who are being investigated. It is the people who are also being arrested by different state police all over the country. So it is the people we are targeting. And to do that, the effort of the central government is very, very consistent. So please don't think that something as superficial as banning an organization is the aim of the central government. The central government aims to get rid of the people who are radicalizing society, and so that in the future no other organization like this can be made. I think it's like sticking a band-aid on a very deep problem and saying that we ban PFI and the problem is over.
Jharkhand tried to ban PFI as an organization. They went to the High Court and got a reprieve because the grounds were not solid enough. See, that's how the system works. And somebody who understands how to work the system, you have to be very, very comprehensive in how you do it. See,
and Anand, they don't lack money. Anand, they don't lack money. We have seen that during the CAA protests. Yeah. We have seen it in the way they synchronize across the country. Do you think they cannot buy themselves the topmost legal counsel? We know there are people who don't keep morality above law. They will come and represent criminals of all kinds, terrorists of all kinds. So we have to ensure that we target the ideology, the radicalization, and not an organization.
And it's a reality that one nation's terrorists or one particular section of society's perception of a terrorist could be hero for another person. And if there are elements like that, they will back them.
Anand, let me come in. Anand, let me come in. I want to say something here. Yeah. Because the terrorist is a terrorist. Terrorist, does not have any religion, or he does not.
I agree with you, sir, but there are people who do not think like that. That's what I'm saying. There are people who do not think like that. There are people who believe that they can take, they allow such outfits and such elements to grow because they believe they can tame them eventually, but right now they serve a particular purpose for them. And they don't realize that things will get out of hand and it will come back to bite them itself. So that's also happening.
I'd like to give you an example of Karnataka government. Because when Siddaramaiah was the chief minister of Karnataka, he was the one who was withdrawn cases against the PFI.
Correct. So that's what I'm trying to say. They more than 400 cases were unleashed. That's what withdrawn. Why were they withdrawn? They should not have been withdrawn at that time. It was done thinking that it will serve a particular political end and a benefit. But at the end of the day, it's come back to hurt society. That's what I'm trying to say.
National interest. National interest.
Can I come in now?
Yeah, sir. Final word. I'm way over time on the debate. Yeah, but final word, Gopal Hosurji. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you, policing is a state subject. We have central agencies.
Correct.
We are a democracy guided by the Constitution.
Right.
Our criminal justice system has to withstand the test of times.
Right.
Now, unlike in the past, today we have technology to link people wherever they are.
Right.
So the recent investigations of the Shaheen Bagh, the CAA protests, and all these can be comprehensively dealt with by a national agency like the NIA. And once we produce that evidence, and I'm sure banning organization is one part of it, because if you ban one organization, we banned SIMI, we proscribed SIMI, and it took the form of STPI or PFI or Indian Mujahideen.
Right.
It will grow. But as long as we have a common understanding of dealing with an issue which is of national importance, cutting across the political spectrum.
The point is, those people who have figured out how the law works and who know how to work the law in their favor you have to be very, very careful on how you word it and how you decide to crack down against them. So is there a policy, is there a position ready? That's the point. If you really want to weed them out, such elements out is what I'm going to say. I have to wind up on that note. I thank you all for joining us on debate number 2. We're going to take a very short break, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, it's the Tiranga quiz. On the way out, here's the tease question. Pick up the phone, tell us if you know this. This is in the sea, the Tiranga being flown in the sea. Which organization did it? It's a demo, it's a test that they've done. You got 4 options: Navy, Goa Police, NDRF, Indian Coast Guard. Tell us what you think. Pick up the phone, the answer on the other side with the Tiranga quiz.